Alright, so this did not go quite as planned, so this is now going to be a first impressions video. Hey, I'm Doga. Originally, I was going to do a full playthrough, but due to circumstances,
Wow, the game really does not like this.
those of you who caught the stream probably already can guess what those are. I'm going to just do a first impression summary of Cyberpunk 2077. What just happened? Did I just take fall damage? Okay, so right off the bat, let me say that I do like this game. However, I am mixed about how I feel playing it. It's kind of all over the place. I'm drawn in by the aesthetics, being a fan of like neon glows, future technology, and existential crises, whatever.
Your adversaries will turn you against yourself.
Existential topics. But at the end of the day, I didn't get much more of an experience as I would from any other open world shooter. Like, on my scale, you can put GTA on the far end of one side for hyper-realistic-ish, and on the other end, that Saints Row feel of everything's a joke. Cyberpunk sits perfectly in between the two extremes, finding a uncomfortable place right next to like Watch Dogs. So off I go, hopping into the story. I want to assess the level of depth each choice has. I like games that let you wander off the beaten path, and I was excited to hear from Project Red that the side quests actually affect the main story and can change the ending. So I handled the street kid and nomad stories, and Nix over here had fun with the corpos. We didn't find much in terms of varied choices, just some alternate dialogue changes, but many paths lead to the same convergences. Hopefully that will change down the line, but even when I added 6 hours to my nomad playthrough, I saw little difference in story beats from Nix's corpo. All in all, it's a great story that has me hooked, but I kinda wish they didn't emphasize the choices if all paths lead to Rome, as they say. In all honesty, I was hoping for a futuristic Shadow the Hedgehog where you can kinda choose to be good, bad, or neutral, or something to kinda change up the timeline or who your main character is. I don't know. Maybe like a little infamous mechanic. In terms of gameplay, I'm really not going to talk too much about gameplay. At this time, CD Projekt Red has already issued their apology. Everyone's had different experiences. As I alluded to at the start, I'm stopping my live stream of this due to all the issues I've personally had. Starting with like excessive crashing, but I'll definitely finish the game on my own. That's gonna be a me thing.
I don't know why motorcycles always gotta do me like that.
I was dying to see what the customization in Cyberpunk would really look like. However, I feel bad saying that it's a lot tamer than I expected it to be. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it more than GTA Online where everyone looked just off. However, my golden standard is like Saints Row style where you can modify everything and change the color and hue. This ain't no Saints Row. Basically, you're just gonna cobble together a bunch of presets that you're gonna say, close enough. It's not as ugly and off-putting as GTA, however, it's not as robust and comical as Saints Row, but more inspired than Watch Dogs. There's a little bit more going on here, but like, it's serviceable. Except for these dreadlocks. What's going on with these dreadlocks? Don't work. Like, where's the gravity? If I'm to move on to talking about the core gameplay loop, gameplay is I'm really mixed here, as Night City at times is constantly in a state of being electrified. It's one moment it's on edge, then the next there are times when you feel like you're in a zombie survival game, but nobody wants to attack you. The civilian NPCs specifically are literally lifeless beings, to the state where in a game about robotics,
What?
they seem more robotic than anything else you can do. There's no real routines, no reason for them to really be anywhere. They don't interact with you. You get similar reactions from many different NPCs. You know how in GTA you get into a fight with somebody just because you stare at them for too long, or you bump into them while walking and now they're just cheesed? None of that's here. Nobody really does anything. The only time anything happens is when they scream from when one of the gang affiliated NPCs comes to show up and cause trouble. Other than that, any story implied NPCs, full of life. Cyberpunk also throws in RPG mechanics, but man, I don't know what it is about me specifically. I think my tolerance for RPG elements is getting lower and lower by the day. But it's my own fault, because I started the game on hard mode, so I can't really blame anyone but me. Nyx here is playing on normal, seems to have a much better time. But it seems the only way developers know how to make RPGs harder is by making bullet sponges, and I just hate bullet sponges. Having to spend 5 minutes per minion in a wave of 20 enemies is a bit much. I don't recommend playing on hard mode. To me, it's just a time waster. There's no real difficulty curve. It's just everybody takes longer to die. That and a lot of the RPG systems aren't completely explained to you. But these are little gripes, but things like, how do I earn skill experience? Are there skill resets in this game? Shouldn't I be told the stat check threshold and not guess it? Who teaches crafting? What do you mean protocol bypass? What does a protocol bypass do? It's not doing anything. Would it be too much to ask for a safe house that's not 30 stories in the air? This car is trash. When do I change my car? What's the difference between technical and intelligence if they both unlock doors? Who's gonna street race me? Why is he able to light me on fire from across the room? Does like anything bad happen if I don't pay? Can I reject some NPC mission so they don't call me every 2 seconds? Do I have control of my life? Not bad at all. All in all, I don't hate this game. I actually like Cyberpunk. The world is interesting to look at, the cutscenes and stories are delivered wonderfully, and I don't regret my day one purchase. If you ask me which open world game I'd recommend, Cyberpunk probably won't be the first or second on my list, unless I knew you were into this type of visuals, but it is on my list. It's a game I would recommend to those specifically.
You usually forget shit, but it just so happens